Hello, Andy.
Back again, Warren. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks, Andy. Hey, this is the first two-hander that we've done for quite a while, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. We've filled in with some other different things, try and keep it, varying a bit.
Hopefully our guests haven't had enough of us, so hopefully they'll come back in the future.
I'm sure they have.
Yeah, please come back. Now, before we start, Andy, you've recently had an interesting discussion with a French fan on YouTube, and that's someone who has a lot of interest in how the glitter records were made.
A guy called Michel. There's another guy as well. He was interested, but this guy had some inside information on amping up the very original slide guitar sound on the first GG records. So it ended up in a bit of a discussion about, tuning amps. The other guy chipped in as well, talking about the tunings. It's just interesting how that star guitar sound, as we call it, still elicits, quite a bit of conversation.
Oh, yeah.
There's a bit more information about it online now than there previously was, but even so, people are very interested.
The great thing, Andy, was Michel had spoken to a recording engineer who was there when the records were made in the early 70s. And the bit that caught my eye, and I suspect I know it caught yours as well, was he spoke about the French studio receiving a request for a 220 volt to 110 volt converter for the guitar amps. And you made the point, which is absolutely right, that was a creative decision. There's a couple of issues there. A, the French engineers would have been concerned about damage to their amplifiers. I won't get into the technical details of this, but if you want to power something, you can actually damage it as much as you can. Well, not as much, but when you overpower something like that, you're going to blow them up. But by underpowering, you're going to create some weird artifacts. And I'd suspect that John Hudson, who was the engineer who worked in London, started off with Mike, I suspect he did that as part of the Star Guitar sound. So that's something that we never knew before, isn't it?
Yeah, I think obviously when we do a Mike Leander podcast or two, we can bring all this together.
Yep. Still trying to get John Hudson.
Well, yes.
By the way, if anyone's listening and knows John Hudson or has a contact with John Hudson, would you mind sending Andy or I a message on Facebook, or even put a note on YouTube anywhere, if you just wouldn't mind getting in contact with us, because we know John lives in Brisbane and we'd really like to speak to him.
Yeah, and obviously, or ask him yourself directly, saying you'd really like him to come on, and we will obviously, for the sake of politics, we'll steer us away from the GG side of things as much as we can. It'll be about his work, Mike Leander's work, the Glitter Band, and other things that he's done. Yeah,
we'd love to speak to John. Look, I think one thing that came out of this, Michel's comments, and I think they sort of lie with what Lawrence Myers, who was Mike's manager when Mike was in the studio creating Rock and Roll Part 2 with John Hudson, is that there was always been a story about it sort of happening a bit by accident one night where they went to the studio, had a bit of fun and made the record. Well, from what we've found, that really isn't the case, is that Mike and John spent a lot of time crafting the glitter sound. I think the amp story fits in with the other stories we've heard, such as I think we mentioned, Andy, I think it was in one of the Star Guitar podcasts, where Lawrence Myers told the story of Mike sitting in his office, I think it was with the cigarette lighter, just moving his fingers up and down the fretboard of the guitar and just playing around with the sound. I think there's that old, what I think is a truism about genius being sort of, 10% inspiration and 90% perspiration. I think in this case, that might have been it.
Yeah.
If you're sick of us talking, and we've actually done a lot of that so far, haven't we?
Too much.
But apart from this bit, this is the podcast for you. You'll hear over 20 music clips.
Yeah, the reason being we're just taking a slightly different approach to tackling the Rock and Roll Dudes album. We're actually looking at the sessions around that album, the recordings that were done, or a number of them, not all, for various reasons. We're not going to do them all. but anything surrounding recording for that album, the shortlist that was put together from it and everything. Some of these are demos done in places like Morgan Studios in Willesden, which is in North London. And you'll find, if you don't know already, that there were very, very many songs to choose from for that particular album.
And according to John Springate, when he spoke to the Birmingham Mail, quoting John, what we're doing at present is getting together about 24 tracks so that we have a big choice of material.
Yeah, and about a year later, when interviewed in the Music Week, which is an industry magazine, Mike Leander, the producer obviously of all of the hits and everything, just recalled the total tracks being up around the 30 mark. And Mike was quoted as saying, "We're very ruthless in paring down the potential album track lists."
Yeah, and I suppose Mike and the band didn't have a choice, Andy, with 30 tracks. Here's one that I'm sure would have been near the top of the list when they moved to Paris to record Rock and Roll Dudes. Side 1, track 1, For Always Never.
Now, we're not going to too much talk about the tracks themselves, the sound and everything, just basically because we're going to do a round table talking about that element of the songs. But what I will say is that immediately as a start for the album, you can hear an improvement in the recording quality and time that's gone into recording tracks for this album. The tone is an improvement on Hey straight away. Star guitar sound on that is something I really, really love. And it's a song that actually the band surprisingly never played live when they toured the album in mid-75. Although it did get an outing about 20 years or so later when the band supported Gigi on his final tour. It's a different arrangement to the original demo that they performed, and it featured Jerry on lead vocals. He didn't play this star guitar on that particular tour appearance for that song. And on Mark Wall's excellent Sleeve Notes to the Cherry Red CD reissue, John Springate spoke about a few of the Rock and Roll Dudes tracks, including For Always and Ever.
Quoting John, "I wrote this song whilst with Southern Music. I asked John Rossall to work with me on making it suitable for the album, and we nearly had another hit single. Super track, I wish it had been released as a single. While For Always Never wasn't part of the live set, and obviously didn't become a single, a couple of their peers decided it might be a good idea to cover the song. This track was issued as a 7-inch a few months after Rock and Roll Dudes' release."
Now, that recording of For Always Never was by Snatch, and apparently it featured the younger brothers of Rubett's drummer, John Richardson, and It was released a few months after Rock and Roll Dudes was released. It was the brainchild of John Richardson, along with Rubettes lead singer Alan Williams.
I've got a theory, Andy. Shortly before John Rossall left the Glitter Band, they performed in that celluloid masterpiece, Never Too Young to Rock. Well, the music was good. The Glitter Band would have spent most of the day filming the closing part of the film, which was a performance of the title song. And that would have involved a lot of waiting around, and the other bands would have been there as well for that final bit. Most parts of that film, they would have been shot separately, but for the final track, they would have all been together in the film studio. It was probably a warehouse. So it wouldn't surprise me if a Glitter Band member, possibly John Rossall, had a cassette that he handed over to the Rubettes, and maybe it was this recording. Seems to be a similar arrangement to the Snatch version. What do you think, Andy?
Yes, I think it's the Snatch version is based more on this demo version of the track rather than the album track, for sure. And just in case anybody's wondering why the quality of it, that this particular burst that we've played isn't so good, it's because it's been taken off of an acetate record, which has obviously been played a bit.
Yep.
People might not know that an acetate is, a one-off sort of phonographic disc that can be used for mastering, for sort of sending demos around, and early radio broadcasts.
Andy, I don't know if they'd be used for mastering. I think it's
it depends on the quality.
Yeah, I think you could play them about 3 or 4 times, and then that was about it. I think, as you just indicated.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, so you could run another one off because they're done in real time.
Yep, and I think probably some of the studios may have even had them as well. I mean, what we probably could add is that making a record was quite a complicated process, wasn't it? There was a fair bit involved. So the thing with an acetate was they could be knocked off really quickly. And I think they've been around forever. I think back to the days of the Beatles in the 50s, I think they were around then.
Yeah, I mean, the initial quality of them is very good. They degrade a bit quite quickly after playing once or twice.
Every track that you hear in this podcast and its follow-up was written by the Glitter Band members. Here's the first unreleased song. Like For Always and Never, this one was composed by the two Johns. As Andy mentioned earlier, in the next few months we'll be doing a couple of round tables with our regular 3 guests, where we'll all offer our opinion of the tracks that made the album. But in this podcast, we're talking about the songs that didn't make the album, which includes the one we just played, Ring Around.
Yeah, obviously it's a glitter type song. There's a few demos in that style recorded that were potentials for the album. Nice enough song. I think it's been around, I won't call it a bootleg per se, but people have been able to listen to this particular song for probably 20, 30 years or more. And probably are quite familiar with it. But for those that aren't, probably an early recording shortly after Hey was released. And interestingly enough, you'll find that one of the lines in the song was lifted and put on John Russell's "It's No Use You Telling Me No" single. That often happens with tracks that, there's something particular that gets lifted and used later on. Nice enough song. Could it have been an album track? Compared to what was released, maybe not that close to being added.
I agree, Andy. I don't think it's quite as strong as some of the other material. May have been a potential B-side. You've just made a really good point. We're actually not just doing unreleased tracks. We're doing unreleased tracks and what you could call is semi-unreleased track. And I guess you could call this a semi-unreleased track, Andy, because it wasn't released in the 70s, but since then it's appeared on a couple of CDs, hasn't it?
Yeah, and before that, there's a small handful of people that had it on tape, passed around covertly.
I think what's important with a recording like this is what isn't there as opposed to what is there. If Ring Around was released, I'm sure that Jerry's vocals in the chorus would have been replaced by some sort of layered harmonies. The brass wouldn't have been so prominent, and there would have definitely been some added guitar parts. And as I said before, I think it would have been okay as a B-side, and I think we agree, Andy, probably maybe nothing more.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Now, returning to the album itself, this was the second track on the album, Sweet Baby Blue is the title, and it's a John Springate composition. And this particular song was a staple in the Glitter Band's live set for many years, actually. In the CD sleeve notes that we referred to before, John Springate had the following to say: "Well, being a Who fan, I couldn't resist this song, which is influenced by one of their great tracks." Now, if you'd actually like to know which Who track John's talking about, he actually reveals all in an impromptu Glitter Band chat with John Springate podcast.
I had a schoolmate whose older sister was a huge Who fan, and we used to, possibly unauthorised, make that probably, listen to her records whenever we had a chance. I didn't pick the similarity until John pointed it out. It's there, but I think he's fairly safe from being sued by Pete Townshend, Andy. Different subject matter to the Who song, but I reckon Sweet Baby is at least equal to the Who track. Here's a different version, which is reimagined, I know that's a cliche, by John a few years ago. It featured on his Glitter Band Gem CD, which can also be streamed.
If you're not familiar with it, this version of Sweet Baby Blue was recorded a few years ago, maybe, 10 or so, by John. It's on a solo CD of his, as Moran already said. Quite nice to hear it stripped back like that. Nice arrangement of the song. Love the harpsichord stuff at the beginning. It's very interesting listening to some of the tracks that John did on that album, different interpretations and stuff. Actually, it sort of stands as a testament to how good the songs were originally.
Andy, I'm going to say almost the same thing, because I love it. It really brings out the melody, and so many Glitter Band songs work without the Glitter Band stomp.
Yeah.
Here's a cover by someone who many listeners to this podcast will be familiar with. That's Raised on Radio, a two-member glam tribute act featuring one of our regular roundtable guests, Richard Kenner. Andy, I believe you've seen them live.
Yes, yeah. They obviously did other gigs around the Manchester area and I think further afield.
Yep.
And always did the Glitter Band stuff in the set and some other glam acts as well. Put a lot of work in actually in the live stuff, a lot of costume changes and Richard taking on different personas, from Bowie, let's say, to Rossamel of Sparks, to keep changing around. Oh, Ron of Sparks, very, very good. Yeah, they were very good live and supported the Glitter Band a couple of times. They also worked with John Springate. A nice version that Richard's done there. There are a few that he's done that we'll be featuring.
And I didn't know about the costumes. So, Andy, next time we have Richard on...
it was mainly wigs and stuff.
Well, no, that's all right. Wigs, that's fine, because that's good ammunition for next time we have Richard on as a guest.
Yeah.
The intro of that track reminds me of the title track of Sweet Sweet Fanny Adams' album. And I know Richard's a big fan of guitarists like Rory Gallagher, so it wouldn't surprise me if his Raised on Radio co-member has similar tastes. A surprising, but I reckon a top choice for a glam tribute act.
Right, this is song from our second album, called Rock and Roll Dudes. Got any on it, it's gonna be great. It's a song called Street Baby Blue.
Andy, you mentioned a few minutes ago that Sweet Baby Blue featured in the band's live set for many years. That was a recording from the Cricketers at the Oval in London in 1984.
Yeah, very, very familiar to a lot of the people that would have gone to see the band at that time and a bit later than that and earlier than that. It worked really, really well.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody sort of who wasn't over familiar with the band went there. Said, "What the hell's this?" It just fitted, and it was very energetic. Great sort of rocky song. Obviously different because it's a different interplay between John doing the verses, etc., and then Jerry coming in on his own and doing, the chorus, which wasn't what was going on the recorded version on the album. Absolutely loved hearing it live, just as much as I love hearing it on the record itself.
And I have nothing to add to that, apart from the fact that I think it'd be really good if we get a chance to speak to John again. I would love to ask him, Andy, who came up with the idea of Jerry doing the chorus?
Live, yeah.
Yeah, live.
I don't know. It may have been just a happy accident. Yeah, very good. I mean, I think the thing to say about the being on the album, you start to now see the move away from all glitter type songs, and the versatility of the songwriting and playing, musicianship of the band, and that's what I really loved about the album.
Well, I think maybe a classic example of that is the Gems version that we just played, which just brings out that song's melody, and it's not glitter at all.
No.
We don't really know anything about this next track, but I think it's reasonable to assume that it's another John Springate composition. This is our second unreleased Glitter Band song, but this one actually is fully unreleased. There are plenty to come.
When you find you need a helping hand to win, and your friends let you down, I'll be there to give you all the help you need. Please don't wear a frown. If you need a friend, I'll be standing by your side. If I ever see you down, I'll be standing by. 'Cause I want you, I need you, I'm on your side. I want you, I need you, I'm on
That song is called "I'm on Your Side." Yeah, just thinking, I'd probably call that sort of song a ditty. No offence to the song in any way, shape, or form. I like songs that I would term ditties.
Pretty light.
Yeah, it's quite light. It's pleasant enough. Stays pretty much the same sort of intent all the way through. You don't suddenly get this, completely different chorus. Yeah, I like it. Again, I don't think it would have fitted on the album, as we were saying before, per se. And is it glitter? The guitars there, etc. But it's not an out-and-out glitter song. Yeah, maybe All My Love's the closest to it. Would you say that's true?
I'm going to mention another one. But first, the lyrics seem to fall into the "you can see them coming" category, but that's the nature of this type of pop song. As you just indicated, Andy, it is a very much a pop song. The song itself seems to be complete. And if this demo was re-recorded for release, I think it would have made a good B-side for Goodbye My Love. But the song it reminds me of a little bit is Until Tomorrow.
Yeah. Fairly obvious that the title of that song is "I Can't Stop," taken off of the actual Rock and Roll Dudes album. Returning to the Cherry Red CD sleeve notes, here's what John had to say about "I Can't Stop." Quoting John, "Mike had asked me to write a quick ditty of a song for a filler. He gave me 5 minutes to do it, and here it is. At one point, a strong contender for a single release."
I think he may have written two. We'll play the second track in a few minutes. It's interesting to hear John talking about "I Can't Stop" being a strong contender for a single release. It was initially announced as the B-side to Goodbye My Love. Though John wrote I Can't Stop very quickly, there is an alternative version.
Now, this was a pre-production demo of I Can't Stop. It's got virtually all the same elements of the basic track in there, except, as you might notice, no brass. It really bears, true the whole situation of who actually really wrote and recorded the tracks, because the core of the band, really, particularly this time, was John, Jerry and Pete. The sax and stuff was added later. Tony wasn't playing on the tracks either. So it's very interesting how this bears witness of that fact.
As Andy just mentioned, there's no saxophone on that track, but I prefer it to the release version. I think it's a bit harder edged. Maybe the problem was the edge was a bit too hard to fit in with the rest of the album. The recording is great, minimal compression, lots of dynamics. Wouldn't it be good if we stumbled across a complete set of Rock and Roll Dudes tracks in a similar vein? I would say that's highly unlikely, unfortunately. The next live track is pretty special. It comes from a performance at the Scala Club in London, where the Glitter Band was supported by Adam Ant and Angie Bowie, would you believe? I've got a copy of the DVD. You could buy it on eBay. I'm not sure whether it's still listed. That gig was about 15 years ago. Were you there, Andy?
I certainly was. Yeah, it's not a good event, actually. For me, it was very welcome that the band introduced this song into the set. Now, I may have gone on record before saying that once John left the band in '86, you started getting the band doing songs like "Walking the Dog," "Handyman," and all that, and really, I wonder whether it would have been a better move to throw things like this into the set. Songs that are pretty catchy, even if you haven't heard them before, rather than a lot of that other stuff that they did. I used to like them doing I Saw Her Standing There, the Beatles song. That worked quite well because it's really energetic, but that was the downside of that period. So for me, getting to the point, it was great for this song to come back into the set. And that Scala event, it worked really well in the set there. There was a good vibe generally about what was going on that evening.
It was a pretty good house, wasn't it, for that show, Andy?
Yeah, it was. I don't think everybody knew exactly who was going to appear, but I knew in advance that Adam was appearing. I think I knew about Angie Bowie. There were a couple of other guest stars as well that people didn't really know of. But yeah, it was a good evening. Angie Bowie just completely stuffed up doing the Tears I Cried because she didn't really know the song with John. It was good.
I describe this as a jaunty sort of track, and maybe that's due to Eddie's keyboard playing, but it also features some lead bass from John Springate that I think de-jauntifies it a little. I know that's not a word, Andy.
Love the lead bass.
I know you love. That's why I chucked it in there, but I like it on this song. It really lifts it. And the Glitter Band have often opened with this track segued from Rock and Roll Part 2. I'd be happy if they went straight into I Can't Stop. One more for this section.
again, it will be evident that the title to that track, that demo track, is "Why Not Me, Why Not You." Yeah, another song that I like. It moves along quite nicely. It's catchy. Probably would have been another accompanying track on the album, maybe a B-side. So, yeah, there's nothing to say that it's a bad song. It's not as good, obviously, as some of the more prominent songs that we know, but it's in the Glitter vein, so it would have pleased people on that front.
And as I indicated earlier, I'm convinced this was recorded at the same session as the alternative version of I Can't Stop. John actually used part of this song on a track on one of his solo albums a few years ago, Andy. I can't remember which song it was, can you?
No.
But it does appear. There's definitely part of that track appears in another song, so I must check that out. And look, I don't understand why a track such as this, maybe with some sax and guitar overdubs, wasn't released. Rock and Roll Dudes easily could have been a double LP, and I don't know if I've told you this, Andy, but we're going to return to that in our next episode. You wondering why I just played that, Andy?
Yes. Do you know why you've just played
Yes,
it?
I do. Yeah, this is real train spotter territory. This is many years ago when the Glitter Band toured Australia and played in Melbourne. There was an ad, a radio ad, which plugged the album, and it also plugged the gig. Now, during the ad, they played Goodbye My Love, Tears I Cried, plugged the gig, and the ad finished with that track.
Ah.
That obscure enough, Andy?
Yeah. Oh, bugger, you haven't got to the harmony bit. That's a real shame. That song is called Write Me a Letter. It's a song I really love on the album. Again, that's what appealed to me. The different types of track. Obviously, it's got the style guitar on it playing away, but, it's much more of a refrain type song. John Springate described it as a Beatles-type cameo. Pretty good. I remember in the 60s listening to, this is going to really obscure band, The Peddlers, and very stripped back, almost jazzy, great harmonies like that. So this song really appealed to me. I got the Beatles reference that John Springate referred to as well.
Andy, I'll do you a deal. In the round table, we'll play the harmony section.
Oh, cool. It's very simple. It's just, but it sounds real. Do you know what I mean?
This is one track off this album that sounds like they're playing in the studio.
Yeah.
And it was played on the Rock and Roll Dudes tour. Well, part of the tour, because it appears it was dropped
Totally,
part of the
yeah.
way through. Because thanks to our mate Joe Swinford, I think Joe's got either one or two track lists from that tour, and that track doesn't get mentioned. But there was a review in Record Mirror where it was highlighted, Andy, so Record Mirror loved it. I suspect, though, it was dropped because it's difficult to introduce a ballad to a live audience, particularly with an act like the Glitter Band. But I reckon,
Unfamiliar one, yeah.
Exactly. But I reckon it may have fitted in nicely after All I Have to Do Is Dream. Here's our third unreleased track, and there'll be plenty more. This one was also written by Jerry and Pete.
This is a Shepherd Phipps composition called Lonely Angel. Yeah, it's a nice song. I'm going to be very, very honest and say it should have been John Springate sing on this song rather than Jerry. Even though Jerry
It's just
wrote
a demo.
it.
That may have been the plan.
Yeah, true, yeah. But I love those sort of acoustic guitar-led tracks. Obviously, the other guitar comes in, best versus various points. But yeah, I like it. It had a bit of promise about it, that song. So it would have been nice to take that a bit further. I mean, it's not outstanding, but it's an interesting song. I like those sort of strum-along songs.
I'd guarantee if Jerry was around and he'd heard that we played Lonely Angel, he'd be very, very unhappy, and with good reason. It was recorded very quickly. There's minimal instrumentation, rough vocal, and that was it, track abandoned. Now, that might seem a bit harsh, but there are other demos where there's more work's gone into them. I suspect when he put down the vocal, Jerry could hardly hear himself in his headphone monitoring mix, but as you've pointed out, Andy, the track itself didn't suit his voice, did it?
No, it's a wrong. The range, that end of his range there, it doesn't sound that pleasant when he sings that way. It starts to break too much. It needed John on it, I think.
Yes, and I agree. I mean, I think if the instrumentation was made more elaborate, maybe a few lyric changes, and the track was handed to John, I think it would have been an okay track. But I'm just not quite sure whether Jerry and maybe Pete would have agreed. Here's another unreleased Phipps Shepherd composition from the Rock and Roll Dude sessions.
She's got no tears left to cry. It's no use asking her why. Just go back, go back, go back to her. Your picture's still on her wall. Your name, I still hear her call. So go back, go back, go back to her. She's got no feelings for me. It's who she's longing to see. And though we loved at the start, she's crying 'cause you're apart. Gotta go back, see your girl. Gotta go back, see your girl. Gotta go back, see your girl.
Now that song is called "Go Back to Her." It's a Phipps Shepherd composition from all these sessions that we've been referring to, with Pete on lead vocal here. For me, great song. I think it would have been a strong contender to go on the album if you'd had more sort of glitter, Georgie numbers. I played this to Pete a couple of years ago, and he hadn't heard it since the demo was recorded. And he said, "Oh, actually, it's quite a good song, isn't it?" You could see the cogs whirring, and it's he's right. It's a catchy song.
Oh, I agree. As a recording, it's the opposite of Lonely Angel. Clearly, it's the base of a track that was intended to be released. And if it was released, you can guarantee a couple of things. One thing you can guarantee, there would have been some of Harvey's sax in there. I think maybe John Springate could have joined in
more
on the
guitar.
chorus. Yes, true.
Yeah,
It's more guitar.
yeah.
Mike may have...
John on the chorus would have been good.
Yeah, I think that would have happened. I think you could almost make a definitive statement about that. Though we've done that before and we've been proved wrong, so I won't make that definitive. But
Time and time again.
But I think John would have been there with him. And Mike may have added some glittery type production enhancements. It's full of hooks. It pops along nicely. I would describe it as a fine mid-70s pop song. Could have easily been a top B-side, but look, I would have preferred to hear it on the album. The problem is, where would you fit it in?
song, as everybody will know, is called All My Love. It's a song written by Pete Phipps. On the record, Jerry sang the vocals, but reportedly, a couple of reports, Pete used to sing the song live at the time.
Quite a few reviewers have compared this track to Status Quo. To my ear, it seems to be more late 70s, early 80s Quo. Could the Glitter Band have been ahead of their time, Andy?
Of course.
Had you ever picked up the Status Quo comparison? I hadn't picked it up but two people have actually said that, but I never picked that up.
No, not really. I think it's just that whole, shuffly beat. Folk music incorporates it. All sorts of pop and stuff. So, a song that I like. Again, great to hear that on the album.
And you just mentioned that Pete at times would sing it live. Someone else also put their vocal down on this track.
Now, same song, different vocalist, and this is John Springate on it. Just a few things that come to mind as why they were trying to divvy out the vocalists in an equal way, which is possibly why John's on there, because I don't think there's too much wrong with Jerry's performance. But I guess there must have been another version with Pete on lead vocal as well. This one is taken just off of a cassette, which is why the quality isn't as good. But just nice to have the comparison.
It's interesting the comment you made about John's vocal, Andy. I'm just thinking of Rock and Roll Dude side 1. As it is, you've got 4 John Springate vocals and 2 of Jerry. So we could probably suspect that it was handed over to Jerry to try and get the balance sort of a little more equal, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, I'm like yourself. I don't mind that version, but I do prefer Jerry's version. I think
it's what we're used to.
But also, I think it suits his voice. Not all songs do.
Yeah.
But I think this one does. And I like Jerry's vocal. I would have loved to be there when Pete sang it live.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we weren't. Now, we don't have it confirmed, but we suspect this next one is another John Springate soul composition. We do know that Jerry Shepherd was not a co-writer.
That song was called All Right Tonight. Now, interesting track to try and talk about, really. Would it have fitted on the album? Not sure. Possibly not. But I think I've said before, there was an ability to write those songs that could have been quite useful to other artists, even TV themes with a different title. That could have been a song to a sort of pop show, how can I compare it to? It's not necessarily in the vein of the show Get It Together or Cheggers Plays Pop, but there are a few sort of little theme tunes to shows of that ilk, and it could have been used as a that sort of track, a sort of glammy, pocky. Does anybody get what I'm talking about, or I'm just talking nonsense, just wittering on again?
No, I do, because I'm going to say something slightly similar. Okay,
Oh.
so I see exactly where you're coming from. None of their peers have anything like the amount of unreleased tracks that the Glitter Band have, and everyone is
By far.
self-composed. They've written a lot,
Yeah.
right? And there's a lot of them. And in fact, in a future episode, there are 2 or 3, I think, Jerry songs from these sessions, Andy, that we're going to cover. Not in this episode. That just proves how many there are,
Yeah, it's heaps.
I mean, I don't think this is an overstatement. I mean, compared to the other acts of their time, I think they had an embarrassment of riches, and I sort of stand by that.
And the other thing is, these are the songs they bothered to demo.
Yes, good point.
There are others that are
Well, John had
rejected.
John had a 1/4-inch tape machine which could do overdubs sitting in his bedroom at home, Andy. So there'll be ones that he has recorded at home that we've never heard.
Yeah.
But I think this one has come from the Morgan Studios sessions we referred to at the beginning of this podcast. Now, I can hear some similarities in the guitar parts to I Can't Stop, but it's interesting, Andy, you mentioned TV themes and things, because the chorus reminds me a little of Mud.
Okay.
A little. I hear a little bit of Mud there. I think if it was, we don't know, but I think if Mike and John reworked the song a bit, it could have easily made the album. Not musically, but in terms of production, how it was arranged.
Yeah.
I suspect it probably didn't make it because, I don't know, maybe it was a bit too similar to some of the other tracks.
Yeah. I mean, here, for me,
Yeah, go on.
the sessions that they did post Paris match, this could have fitted in those sessions quite nicely as well.
Andy, we've gone from Hey, where the Glitter Band didn't have enough originals, to Rock and Roll Dudes, where they had too many in a little over 6 months.
Amongst all their touring
Yes.
commitments as well. It's amazing.
I'm just a singer, I sing the song. I want you to listen, it won't take long. Alright tonight. Standing here up on the stage, no one to tell me to act my age. Alright.
I don't know if people noticed, it's the same song but slightly softer edge to it. Probably not a huge amount to say about it. It's just, again, interesting to hear a variation on it. What do you think, Warren?
What's interesting is there's no way a track of that style would have fit on the album, I would have thought. But having said that, I'm just thinking of Write Me a Letter. But Write Me a Letter is more sort of late 50s, isn't it? This is just... there's a lot of acoustic guitars and things. As I think we've said before the podcast, there's some Jerry guitar on that. John has spoken about having a reel-to-reel tape recorder at home that enabled him to build up a demo track one part at a time. Andy, that's really easy to do now, but in the 70s that would have been a lot of work. I think he also mentioned that pressing the wrong button could mean losing everything. That's just like recording a podcast, Andy.
Yes. And the length of this podcast, let's hope we don't lose
I'm just
it.
thinking about our
Or
podcast.
maybe
We've had everything else. That's the one thing that hasn't happened, isn't it?
so far, so don't say it again.
More than ever. Don't be sad. Don't let me see you cry. I'll love you forever. Think of me when you are far away. Think of me at least once.
course, that's the hit single "Goodbye My Love," and we did cover this song extensively in a 2-part podcast, just about "Goodbye My Love" track, where we didn't just cover the song itself, but we talked about the promotional work that went into getting it out there. The appearances and press releases and stuff like that. We spoke about the cover versions and stuff, and we're not going to go into it today. You'll be glad to hear. We've done a lot of talking already.
In common with its A-side, we talk about that track in our Goodbye My Love podcast. Have a close listen to the lyrics of this next track, one of John Springate, and you realise why we're playing it in the Goodbye My Love section of this podcast.
Been on the road for such a long time, I gotta get back home to you. She probably thinks I'm on the way now. Got my ticket, get me to the runway. Do you still love me? Do you still need me? Like I know I need you. Gotta get me through that gate. 6 o'clock, she said she'd wait. Through the mist my eyes can't see. My baby waving at me. Do you still love me? Do you still need me? Like I need you. Do you still love me? Do you still need me? Like I need you. Like I need you. Like I need you.
That track is called "Do You Still Love Me?" Again, quality's not too good on that that we've just played. Not sure what to say about this one, really. It's nice. I can't say I like it or don't like it, really. A bit sort of indifferent to it. Again, sorry to say this again, it feels like another TV theme tuney type candidate. But maybe, I don't know. Over to you, Warren. I'm just
Andy, I'm going to say the same as you. I mean, the one thing we do know is that John has spoken about writing a song before Goodbye My Love that was based around an airport. So I think it's reasonable to conclude that's the song. But Andy, I don't think that was written for the Glitter Band.
No, that's yeah.
It just
Good point.
Maybe we could conclude by saying that it'd be really nice for us to ask John.
So we have one more track to go, and it's another unreleased song, and that makes the total of 8 unreleased songs in this podcast. There will be more in part 2, and this track was written by Jerry Shepherd and Eddie Seago, and we'll have more to say about Eddie Seago in part 2 of the podcast.
Don't wanna say I told you so, but ain't I right? And ain't tonight the night he let you go? Now understand, to catch a
that track was called When You're Ready. And another jaunty song, which I quite like. Interesting to maybe have different lyrics or a different title to that song, I think, and see, how well that would have done. Would it have been an album track? Bit of reworking. Could have been a B-side. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to have to think about that one. I'm not going to pass any comment at this particular stage. I'm going to ask you what you think, Warren.
Well, I think it's very rock and roll dudes, Andy, and I think it would have fitted in beautifully. But in common with many of the unreleased tracks that we're playing in this podcast, and I know we've mentioned this a few times, but this song has been taken off a cassette, so it's hard to judge the quality. But it seems like the song or the track itself has progressed a fair way. I've got a theory, Andy. Maybe it wasn't completed because a non-band member was co-writer, possibly, in terms of royalties, maybe. One point about Eddie is that he was generally a lyricist, and at the start of the next episode, we'll speak about another track that he co-wrote. If Jerry rewrote the lyrics, possibly in conjunction with John Springate, and got rid of the hold-on part, and maybe John performed the lead vocal, which I think would have helped the album's overall balance, I'd be happy for this song to replace Bring Her Back. What do you think of that?
Oh, no. Let's have both. I
No,
wouldn't replace Bring Her Back. I like Bring Her Back.
Oh, I would. I would. Well, we get to talk
Okay.
about that in the next episode and in our round table.
Yeah,
So that will be interesting.
true enough.
Just before we finish, we have some chart positions. The one that was easiest to find was the UK's, where the album peaked at number 17. Even more so than singles, international album charts are notoriously difficult to find, but we got a couple. Got to 15 in Melbourne, and the gold medal goes to Finland, where Rock and Roll Dudes peaked at number 14. What do you think of this theory, Andy? Rock and Roll Dudes was released only a week or so before the Bay City Rollers' Once Upon a Star reached number 1. The Bay City Rollers were a phenomenon. That must have affected the Glitter Band sales.
Yeah, I guess, you're talking about teenagers who've got pocket money. That's all they've got. And, they've got to try and buy 2 albums within, a week or so. That is, it would have hit, I'm sure. Yeah, definitely.
Andy, as we've just mentioned, I think we've played about 8 unreleased tracks in this podcast. I reckon half of those tracks could have easily made the album. What do you think? About half.
B-sides are half. Yeah, I think people would have been happy to have them on there. It's difficult when choosing for an album. You want to make it as impactful as possible, but 13 tracks on an album, 12 is really pushing it at that time.
The other thing with these tracks is we, in all cases, we are listening to tracks that haven't quite been completed, which makes a difference. Go Back to Her is basically complete apart from a bit of sax. I think Why Not Me, Why Not You, maybe the same thing. I think you said a bit more guitar and a bit of sax. But the rest would have needed a bit more work. But gee, I just think there are some good songs in there.
There certainly are.